Hi there guys, so real quick video, I want to make it nice and short. So as the title, this is to do with kind of costings of the car. For me, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to get initially. I'm always sort of checking Auto Trader, checking the values of the cars. For reference, we're in August 2017 to give you an idea of prices. I was looking at kind of a used Golf R, and you can see used Golf Rs for around about, it ranges between sort of I suppose 16,500 to around 20,000 was what I wanted to pay for a car. For that, you're looking at relatively okay miles, but you're looking sort of heading towards sort of 20,000 miles. You'd also struggle to find any kind of good specification in terms of it coming with sat nav, in terms of it coming with the winter pack, which includes heated seats, heated windows, heated windscreen washers, and all that kind of stuff. So you would be restricted. I've mentioned that before. That was because VW wanted to sell a lot of these cars as lease, and they did, which is why you see loads of them on the used market. There's certainly no shortage of Golf Rs if you want to have a look. And for me, I thought that was good. Price wise, for what you're getting, it's pretty decent. And again, I was looking for 6-speed manual, and it was 3-door as well. And I eventually, I test drove a few. I test drove a used one. It was in white. I'll put some pictures up as well for that. And it was a 18,000 mile 3-door 64 plate from September 2014. So it was like a just into the 64s. And that car was fantastic to drive. It had done about 18,000 miles, looked nice in white. It had Discover Pro nav, so it was bigger. It had keyless entry, push button start, it had the heated seats, it had everything. And I was at a VW dealer. It was really good, and the price it was up for wasn't the reason why I was test driving it. I just wanted to see what it's like. It's hard to find a car in that spec, and that car was up for about £21,000, and they just wouldn't budge at all. There was no interest in budging at all. And I was thinking to myself, it's too much money for a used car. I'm spending shed loads. And I'd seen this car up north, near sort of Manchester, from a VW dealer, and you're talking only sort of £3,500 more. And I was sort of like, you joking? It's a 17 plate. It's from April. It's comes with nav as standard. It comes with heated seats and the winter pack as standard. It was pretty much a standard car, really. Bogo Golf R 3-door 6-speed manual. The only option I suppose was limestone grey, which I think is a metallic option, which probably would have set you back about £400 or £500. And for the money, I was just like, it's certainly still top end of what I'd wanted to pay, but I was like, it's got to be worth a test drive, worth a see. And if I like the car, depreciation wise, these cars hold their value quite well. So yeah, there's certainly no complaints on that side. It's a good ownership proposition, and that kind of made me decide to go for sort of the newer in age, certainly. I mean, I suppose you're looking at, I picked this car up at 1,500 miles. For me, that's pretty much just running. Whether people agree with that, I don't know. Certainly tyres would then be sort of running, the brakes would be running, the engine would be running, and that's quite a cool place to pick it up. Also, what changed was the tax band change. So in the UK, you would have to pay, today's prices for a used Golf R, you pay about £190 for tax, which isn't too bad really for its performance, but it's quite a considerable amount of money. It's a cost worth considering. For this car, for the first rate taxpayer in April, if you were picking this car up new, you'd pay £800 tax, and then on top of that you'd pay the £140 for the year, which you'd pay every single year because it's got low enough emissions, it's not over the 40 grand mark. It's not too bad. I didn't have to pay any of that. The dealer had already paid that because they owned it new essentially for 3 months. I'm essentially getting a used car, so I only had to pay £140 tax, which again is a £50 saving, which is okay. You don't have to MOT the car for 3 years. Again, I know you can get deals on MOTs, but you're looking at £35 to £50 saving a year. And these little things were kind of adding up in my head. And I was like, well, servicing the car for servicing, it's 9,000 miles for an oil change if you drive the car hard. Otherwise it's 2 years, 18,000 miles. I checked on VW sites for a full-on kind of major service. You're looking at around sort of £300, which isn't exactly extortionate. For an oil change at 9,000 miles, I'll have to check it up, but I wouldn't want to pay any sort of more than sort of like £100, £150 or something like that. So cost-wise, it's actually pretty good and made sense to get this. I was sort of thinking as well depreciation. Unfortunately, you have to kind of think about these things when you get in a car. And I sort of said to myself, well, if I have this car, say, for a year, what's it going to be worth? How much money am I actually going to lose? Because you're going to lose money on any car. And the fact that it dropped so much of a price, and I was seeing cars, used cars, going for like, being sold for over £20,000 with, you know, 20,000 miles on the clock, and from 2014. And I'm sort of like, well, that kind of means this car's going to hold its value quite well. And you know, and ultimately as well, a kind of good thing about getting this model is you can't now buy it new. If people prefer not having digital dials, if they prefer not having the fascia, the digital infotainment, which I didn't, you have to get it used. And also, if you're picking up this car, you're only paying £140 tax, which again is a little bit of a saving. So that's kind of why I purchased this car as opposed to a slightly older car. If you're looking for a Golf R though, there's loads of them around. If you're not picky on having nav and you just use your phone, you'll be able to find one absolutely no problem at all. Even from a dealer, maybe not a VW dealer. Again, that's another thing. This was a main VW dealer I obviously got this car from. Yeah, you can find really good deals on these Golf Rs. They're everywhere. And colours wise, you've got a choice. You can see a lot in red. I think it looks really good in red. Looks quite nice in sort of silver as well, and even black. There's not really a bad colour for the car. Oryx white, I believe, is the special paint colour, which is again quite cool. Yeah, so you've got your pick of your bunch really. And for me, always make sure the car's been serviced. Main VW dealer, it has to be. If you're getting a Golf R, I wouldn't want to see some sort of crappy service history personally. To me, that just tells me someone who's just got in it, ragged the hell out of it, not really cared, not really thought about anything. Yeah, and that's what I would want personally if I was to advise. The other thing I'd watch out for is tyres. On the white Golf R that I test drove, which was for 21 grand, it had like mismatched tyres, and the rears had been replaced, but then being replaced with some really cheap sort of 60-70 quid tyres, and that's just not good enough. I mentioned as well with the rust sort of in the brake discs and the sort of the hub of the wheel itself inside, it was rust, really shocking rust. It made the car look ugly. It looked horrible. And that put me off massively. If this car gets to that kind of stage, I'm sorry, I'll probably be selling it on, because it just looks really bad from my personal opinion. Not that looks mean everything, but you know, it's a nice looking car and it looks nice without having rust on it. My car's developing a little bit of rust in the brakes. It's only 4 months old. It's pretty bad. So yeah, so that's kind of my overview on pricing. If you're looking for the car, certainly for the Mk7 anyway. This car, new, brand spanking new, would set you back, if you were purchasing it in April, it'd be around sort of £33,000 to £34,000, I believe, in this kind of spec. It was pretty much a standard 3-door manual, but then you'd pay a little bit for the metallic paint, and if you like I mentioned with the tax, £800 tax, so it's quite expensive. You'd then naturally get sort of a discount anyway on that, which would bring it closer to 30, probably to 29, 28,000 as a good deal. I obviously got a fair bit less than that, which made it appealing for me, and a good proposition. And I can probably advise, if you're going for the new model as well, I've seen some of them up for sort of around 28,000, and that's sort of that's a brand new car in La Paz blue, 3-door, 6-speed manual, lab nav. they've put that as standard now, which is nice. Obviously you'll have the new facelift, and you'll have your new dials and all that as well. And for that kind of price, it's still a really good car. And again, comparing to its rivals on pricing, I test drove a Focus RS. They wanted around sort of 38 grand for that car, which is a hell of a lot of money. And you can't get any discounts. Even today, you can't really get any discounts on a Focus RS. Used prices, I believe they've come down. You can sort of pick them up for around sort of 28 grand for a 16 plate. And again, I think for the money, if you're looking at a whole round proposition, I think the VW is the sensible car to go for. I've obviously done driving videos before. I think yeah, if you want to have a bit of fun and just have a car for the weekend, probably isn't the Golf R. It's probably your Focus RS, it's probably your Civic Type R, it's even your Fiesta ST. It's probably not your Golf R. Golf R is a car for me if you're going to be driving it to work and commuting. I would say include it in everything. As a second car, if you want, yeah, it's not really a second car. It's not like a track car. I don't know what it would be like on a track, but I suppose you could put some crazy rubber on it. But anyway, sticking to kind of the financial side, it can make sense. That's kind of my idea on the financial side of things. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And yeah, I will catch up with you next time. Alright, bye.